Hello and a very good morning and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. It's the beginning of Diwali today and we here at Rajya Sabha Television would like to wish all our viewers a very happy Dhanteras. Let's begin this auspicious day with the latest headlines. Union Cabinet to promulgate an ordinance to take back cancelled coal blocks and reallocate them. BJP reviews options on alliance with Shiv Sena in Maharashtra. To and fro continues. BJP central observers to visit Mumbai today to decide the legislative party leader. New Haryana Chief Minister likely to be named today. Mohanlal Khattar leads the BJP's frontrunners for the post. Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa to call snap polls in January, 2 years before his term ends. He's looking for a third term in office. And 6 weeks with no fresh cases, World Health Organization declares Nigeria completely Ebola-free. The Union Cabinet has decided to bring in an ordinance to acquire the land of nearly 214 coal blocks that were cancelled in September by the Supreme Court and reallocate the mines. Now, under the ordinance, auction of coal mines will be completed in 3 to 4 months. A meeting of the Cabinet yesterday evening decided a sufficient number of mines will be put up for e-auction and the mines will be allocated to state-owned organizations like NTPC and state electricity boards on priority basis. The decision follows the Supreme Court's judgment quashing allocation of coal blocks allotted by a screening committee during previous regimes. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that the power and steel and cement sectors were going to suffer because of non-functioning of coal mines whose allocation was cancelled by the Apex Court. He said Coal India will continue to function and its requirements for present and future will be adequately protected.
Whether it is the organizations of the central government or the state government, that is organizations like the NTPC or state electricity boards, coal mines would be allocated to them. As far as the private sector is concerned, the actual users of cement, steel and power who apply, a certain number of coal mines would be put in the pool and there would be an e-auction.
Well, the BJP is taking its time to review options for its partner to form the next government in Maharashtra. With the NCP offering external support to a BJP government, former ally Shiv Sena is being made to sweat. Though the Sena says it has not yet decided on supporting the BJP. Observers from the BJP will be in Mumbai today and are expected to decide. Here's a detailed report.
A day after the assembly election results, two party offices in Mumbai presented a beehive of activity. But the single largest party, the BJP, did not hold any meetings to elect its legislative party leader who would put in the formal claim with the governor to form the government.
अकेले अपने दम पर लड़ने के बाद भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी को महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने 123 सीट दी है, इसलिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेतृत्व में सरकार बनने वाली है.
Meanwhile, the new MLAs of the Shiv Sena unanimously gave Uddhav Thackeray the authority to elect their party leader in the assembly, although they did not take any stand on supporting the BJP.
Party Pramukh Uddhav Sahab Thackeray will take the decision accordingly. So you will come to know accordingly.
The Nationalist Congress Party, on the other hand, met with its party chief Sharad Pawar, endorsing the party's stand to extend unconditional support to the BJP.
मजबूरी कुछ भी नहीं है. अपने महाराष्ट्र में नया गवर्नमेंट आने के लिए स्टेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए. स्टेबिलिटी के लिए हंग जो असेंबली आई है उसमें कोई भी बारे में कोई सोचता नहीं.
The BJP expected to elect their party leader only after their parliamentary board members reach Mumbai. But the delay from the party high command deepened the confusion. Traditionally, the single largest party is privileged to seek the governor's permission to form the government. But here in Maharashtra, the BJP is delaying things, apparently to put pressure on the Shiv Sena to reveal its stand, although it can go right ahead and form the government with the NCP's outside support.
24 hours into the completion of Maharashtra's election, there is no clarity on the formation of the government. Shiv Sena MLAs have left it to Uddhav Thackeray to take final call on alliance with BJP or to stay in opposition. With camera person Jitendra from Mumbai, Rajkamal Rao, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, our correspondent Rajkamal Rao now joins us for more from Mumbai in Maharashtra. Rajkamal, the BJP in Maharashtra seems to be in no hurry really to form the government there. Clearly mounting pressure on the Shiv Sena, trying to get the Shiv Sena to come and join the alliance or join the BJP, so as you know the conditions are not too many as far as the Shiv Sena is concerned.
Frank, because for BJP options are very clearly NCP has already given an outright offer, so they can go and form the government. And even otherwise, in the worst case scenario, because BJP has some maximum number of seats in state assembly, now even also go for a minority government in, like Bhupendra Huda's Haryana's government. So it's very clear for them that they will be forming the government. They are all aware of that. So BJP is not in a mood to bargain with any political party. They want all these small parties who have 50 plus seats to come directly and talk to them. For Shiv Sena, because it's an existential crisis and they cannot sit in opposition for 5 more years, they want the BJP to start the talks first and start the negotiations first. But we are told that back channel negotiations are already on, and Shiv Sena and BJP party cadres, they are already talking. But only final decision can only be taken once the BJP elects their legislative leader. That can only happen once Rajnath Singh and JP Nadda reaches Mumbai. Yesterday there was a lot of speculation that they'll reach Mumbai either yesterday or today, but that's not clear. When we spoke to party officials yesterday, they said that no one said that parliamentary board officials are coming today. Our information is they want to have celebrations throughout this Diwali season, and then after that they want to form the government, because they know that they can form the government and they have the numbers, so they are not in a hurry.
Yes, they have the numbers. They are sitting pretty at the moment, and the BJP knows eventually it will be a BJP chief minister for the state of Maharashtra. But as far as the NCP is concerned, Raj, clearly the NCP too huddled up yesterday. We saw Sharad Pawar meeting with all the MLAs of Maharashtra to try and discuss the future course of action, try and discuss a strategy. What is the strategy as far as the NCP is concerned?
NCP strategy is very clear. They know that there are several cases pending against their political party leader. It's politically relevant for them to be on the same line with the government. So that is why they have given an unconditional support, and their official stand is Maharashtra shouldn't have a fractured mandate. Because it had a fractured mandate, they want to have a stable government. So that is precisely the reason why NCP is saying that they are supporting this government. No one from BJP has ever asked any support from NCP. It was an unconditional support voluntarily came from Praful Patel and then later Ajit Pawar. After Sharad Pawar and his leaders met and they've discussed NCP's strategy to improve their tally in upcoming municipal corporation elections, because there are no state level or Lok Sabha elections left in Maharashtra state. So they have no option but to go for local body election and strengthen the cadre.
Right.
For NCP it's very crucial because a lot of the cadres have joined BJP in district. So they want to further stop the damage of their party. So it's very relevant politically for them to support BJP.
All right, Rajkamal Rao, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us there with all those details from Mumbai in Maharashtra. Meanwhile, in Haryana, the newly elected legislators will choose their leader today. Among the many senior leaders in the race for the top post, Mohanlal Khattar is said to be the favourite with the backing of the central leadership. Here's a report.
A relatively little-known BJP leader from Haryana could be the next chief minister of the state. Mohanlal Khattar, the party's newly elected MLA from the Karnal Assembly constituency, has a strong RSS background and is an old hand of the BJP. In the past, he has worked closely with Narendra Modi when the now Prime Minister was a General Secretary in charge of Haryana. The BJP Legislative Party will meet in Chandigarh on Tuesday to formally elect its leader.
केंद्र से ऑब्जर्वर के नाते से हमारे वरिष्ठ राष्ट्रीय नेता पूर्व अध्यक्ष श्री वेंकैया नायडू जी वहां पर पहुंचेंगे। हम लोग सभी साथ होंगे। वहीं पर ही चर्चा करके जो विधायक दल तय करेगा आपको कम्युनिकेट करेंगे।
There are several other senior leaders in the race for the top post in the state. Apart from Khattar, Ram Bilas Sharma, the president of the party's state unit, Rao Inderjeet Singh and Krishan Pal, both central ministers, and Captain Abhimanyu are the other names doing the rounds.
जो भी नेता होता है किसी भी एरिया का होए, उसके वोटर्स और समर्थक तो यही चाहते हैं कि वो चीफ मिनिस्टर बने ताकि उनके क्षेत्र के अंदर विकास हो। लेकिन फैसला भारतीय जनता पार्टी के शेष नेतृत्व के तौर पे वो फैसला करेंगे और एमएलए से पूछताछ करने के उपरांत करेंगे।
In Haryana, the BJP's big wins have come from mainly non-Jat areas, so the pressure to field a chief minister who is not from the community is also greater. If Mohanlal Khattar is finally chosen, it will be after decades that the state gets a non-Jat chief minister. Shyam Sundar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
It's time for a short break now, but ahead on the show, crucial meeting of the Chinese Communist Party, the plenum underway in Beijing. That and other national and world news on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, even as all eyes are on the chief ministerial candidate to be declared in Maharashtra and Haryana, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hosted Diwali dinner for his Council of Ministers at his official residence yesterday. Interestingly, Shiv Sena representative in the Union Cabinet, Anant Gite, was also present for the dinner. Gite said that he attended the dinner as the BJP-Sena alliance at the centre continues. Modi, meanwhile, told his ministers to maintain momentum for the Swachh Bharat mission and ensure its success. Prime Minister Modi had launched the cleanliness campaign on the 2nd of October. Well, let's now bring you up to date with the other news-making stories from across the nation in our segment Nationwide. The Election Commission has recommended debarring candidates from elections against whom charges have been framed in serious crimes. The move comes in the backdrop of the Supreme Court's intervention to instantly disqualify those convicted of serious offences. The Law Ministry has forwarded the Election Commission's proposal to the Law Commission for consideration. A Delhi court on Monday sentenced all the 5 convicts in the 2010 Dollar Quad gang rape case to life imprisonment. It also imposed a fine of 50,000 rupees on each of them. The fast-track court had earlier on October 15th held all 5 accused guilty for the gang rape of the 30-year-old Northeast woman. At least 13 people, including 2 women, are reported dead in a huge fire at a firecracker factory in Andhra Pradesh. Another 6 were hospitalized with serious burns. The accident took place at a building in Vakatippa village in the coastal Andhra district where firecrackers were being illegally manufactured. There were 30 people at work when the fire began. A case has been booked against the owner under the Explosives Act. Well, the CBI on Monday arrested a Deputy Commissioner Income Tax in Hyderabad on the charge of accepting a bribe of 23 lakh rupees through a middleman. The accused, Jay Prakash, had visited the premises of a businessman along with Inspector Ramu, where he had allegedly demanded 25 lakh rupees as bribe for settling tax issues. Moving on now, the Communist Party of China began a crucial meeting in Beijing on Monday, termed the 4th plenum. This meeting will, for the first time, focus on the rule of law. China's Communist Party is seeking to place a legal system that will be insulated from the supremacy of the party. So far, social stability has trumped everything else, which many observers felt was simply a way of lending legitimacy to the party's continued grip on power. It is also expected to send a strong message to the rank and file of the party that corruption will not be tolerated. The plenum is also expected to throw more light on the fate of the former internal security chief Zhao Yongkang. And joining me right now is our correspondent, Zaka Jacob. Zaka, my first question to you is, of course, the main theme for this plenum is the rule of law. How important is this, and what does this mean in the context of the Chinese political system?
Yeah, that's right. This is the first time that the Communist Party of China is opening a plenum with the exclusive focus on the rule of law. Now, here's what it means in layman terms. So far in China, the running theme, or the most important theme, was social stability. But social stability was used as a rather convenient excuse to clamp down on dissent, even if it was popular dissent, even if there was a genuine grievance. So now, instead of that, they will focus on the rule of law. Basically, what the CCP is trying to do is to try and put in place some form of independent judicial system. There is a judiciary in China, but they all are subservient to the rule of the party.
Okay. Now, what's the other message being sent out in this plenum in Beijing?
The second important thing they're trying to do with this whole rule of law business is to try and send a very clear message out to the rank and file of the Communist Party. And this has been a running theme of the Xi Jinping presidency, and that is that corruption will not be tolerated. Now, it's his famous theme about fighting corruption.
Right. Now, let's not forget, this year's meeting comes in the backdrop of the Hong Kong protests. Will anything come out of the talks?
Yes, that's right. The plenum happens in the backdrop of what's been going on in Hong Kong. Clearly, the protests of the last 3 weeks have rattled China in a way that nothing has from the city-state over the last 20 years or so. So clearly, that's going to be in the backdrop. What it also does is this whole thesis of one country, two systems has been really tested to its limits in the sense that that was the promise in which Hong Kong was handed over from control by Britain to control of mainland China, but that system, there are clear flaws and glaring problems in that system that's been clearly exposed with these 3-week protests. Yes, there are going to be talks between the Hong Kong government officials as well as student leaders. Nobody really expects anything big or anything dramatic to come out of those talks. It will be a work in progress.
Right, Zaka, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us there with all those details. Meanwhile, of course, Hong Kong is all set for talks today after days of pro-democracy protests. For the first time, the Hong Kong government officials will meet the student leaders in an effort to diffuse tensions. Reports suggest there's little hope of any definite breakthrough. The talks will be broadcast live. These talks come a day after political bickering over the interference of external forces in flaring up the Hong Kong protests. Hong Kong police officials say Mong Kok is on the verge of a riot as protesters continue to occupy Main Street despite several warnings from the government.
The situation in Mong Kok is spinning out of control and on the verge of turning into a riot. I appeal to the protesters in the unlawful assembly, especially to students, for the sake of your personal safety and public order.
Remains to be seen what happens today, of course, after those crucial talks. Staying on with more international news now, and what comes as a surprise move, Sri Lanka is to hold a snap presidential election in January, nearly 2 years ahead of schedule. Lankan cabinet spokesperson said that elections are likely to be held on January 8th. The move is seen as a strategic attempt by President Mahinda Rajapakse to use his current popularity to strengthen his position as a leader. Rajapakse is expected to seek a third term. President Rajapakse had won a landslide victory in 2010 and is currently serving a 6-year term. According to Lankan election code, the president has time till November 19 to make an official announcement on presidential polls. More international news now. The World Health Organization has declared Nigeria Ebola-free after a 42-day period with no new cases. Nigeria is the second country after Senegal to be declared Ebola-free in the past week. Meanwhile, the EU will soon appoint an official to coordinate its efforts against the deadly disease.
The World Health Organization has declared Nigeria free of the deadly Ebola virus after 6 weeks with no new cases, an achievement with lessons for countries still struggling to contain the deadly virus.
This is a spectacular success story that shows to the world that Ebola can be contained. But we must be clear that we only won a battle. The war will only end when West Africa is also declared free of Ebola.
This year's Ebola outbreak, the worst on record, has killed over 4,500 people across the three most affected countries, Liberia, Guinea and Sierra Leone. Its arrival in Nigeria's capital Lagos, an overcrowded city of 21 million people, sparked fears of a doomsday scenario when it would become impossible to contain. In all, 8 people died of Ebola in Lagos, while nearly 900 people were monitored for signs of the disease. Meanwhile, the Spanish nurse who contracted Ebola while caring for 2 infected priests in a Madrid hospital is considered cured of the virus. She will remain in hospital until she has fully recovered.
A partir de la PCR que se haga mañana, si continúa siendo negativa, consideraremos que en principio la paciente está curada de la infección, sabiendo que todas las infecciones virales pueden tener fluctuaciones debido a muchos factores y hay que tener mucho cuidado con la interpretación de los resultados.
The European Union has meanwhile agreed to appoint a coordinator to round up its response to the world's worst outbreak of Ebola. In the US, the 21-day quarantine period has ended for those who were in close contact with Thomas Eric Duncan, Ebola's first victim in the state. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's now bring you up to date with the other news-making stories from around the globe in our segment World Wrap. Well, India has registered a strong protest against a proposed anti-India rally in London, which will call for the independence of Kashmir. The rally, scheduled for October 26th, is planned to have thousands of people march through central London. A petition will be submitted to Prime Minister David Cameron, asking Britain to push India into resolving the Kashmir dispute with Pakistan. Yes, fighting has erupted in the north of the Syrian town of Kobani after 2 days of relative calm. Kurdish defenders are reported to have pushed back Islamic State militants trying to take over the town. US-led forces carried out 6 airstrikes around Kobani on Sunday and Monday. At least 60 people have been killed in Yemen as clashes raged between Shiite rebels and Al-Qaeda militants backed by Sunni tribesmen battling for territory in the strife-hit country. The rebels, known as Houthis, have been facing fierce resistance from Al-Qaeda fighters and tribesmen as they seek to expand their areas of control after seizing the capital Sana'a and the Red Sea port city of Hodeidah. And here's a look now at the global stock markets. US stocks ended higher on Monday on investor hopes for a strong earnings season, but IBM's disappointing results limited gains. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose by 19.26 points or 0.12% to close the day at 16,399. Standard & Poor's 500 index gained 17.25 points or 0.91% to end its business at 1,904. The Nasdaq Composite added 57.64 points or 1.35% to finish the day at 4,316. Gold prices rose by 75 rupees or 0.35% to end at 27,315 per 10 grams as speculators created fresh positions on increased demand from jewelry stockists and retailers ahead of the festive and wedding season. Meanwhile, silver climbed by 375 rupees or 0.56% to finish at 39,645 per kilogram due to renewed demand from stockists and retailers amid bullish overseas sentiments. Well, the Asian markets were mixed at the opening on Tuesday, with Japanese shares swinging between gains and losses after they posted their biggest rally in more than a year yesterday. Japan's Nikkei slid by 0.67% or 100.70 points to 15,010 at the start of today's trading. Hong Kong's Hang Seng is up by 0.20% or 47.05 points and trading at 23,070 this morning. Well, let's now shift focus and bring you an update on what's happening from the world of sports. Here's the latest sports beat. Olympic bronze medal winning shuttler Sena Nehwal will once again lead the Indian challenge in the French Open Super Series starting on Tuesday at the Stade Pierre de Coubertin. Sena, who was in 2012, will take on Shashina Vignes Waran in the first round. PV Sindhu faces a tough opener against Thailand's opponent on Wednesday. Ace woman squash player Deepika Pallikal comfortably won the women's title at the JSW Squash Challenger circuit. In the final match, she defeated her Egyptian counterpart in straight games. The Incheon Games bronze medalist Pallikal got the better of her opponent Nuran El Torki in a contest that lasted only 46 minutes. Romania's Simona Halep comfortably defeated Canada's Eugenie Bouchard on Monday's opening night of the WTA finals. Halep and Bouchard are two of the WTA's most improved players, but an expected tight encounter failed to materialize as Halep blew away an erratic Bouchard to open her account in her first appearance at the event. And finally, 51,000 oil lamps have been lit up in Pune's 18th Shaniwar Wada Palace to celebrate Diwali, a tradition that's been followed there every year for decades. Take a look at these visuals. Bye-bye.